Court in Guyana refuses to grant an injunction to stop house-to-house registration and in sport, injury-plagued Andre Russell and an uncapped player included in the West Indies squad for next month's T20 against India. I'm Ricardo Robertson. This is Caribbean in 10 for Tuesday, July 23rd. I'll be back with the details after the break.
My real name is Joseph Douglas. I'm 24 years old. Adanvi is a compilation of names that I had growing up from younger times. I used to name Louis V, Ruba V, Tanvatan, they call me Adanvatan. You know what I did, I just compile all the names and got Adanvi. And I run with it. And people love it. Adanvi is a diverse artist.
Residents of Crown Point affected by the construction of a new terminal building at A&R Robinson International Airport are being assured they'll get all the support possible for their transition to a new area. They were invited to a second community meeting with project manager NIDCO, or the National Infrastructure Development Company, along with the Tobago House of Assembly and other stakeholders. The residents were updated on the approved land acquisition policy.
Guyana's acting Chief Justice Roxanne George Wilshire has refused to grant an order blocking the house-to-house registration being carried out to create a new voters list. But she has agreed to hear a case challenging the constitutionality of the process which the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, began last weekend. In an application filed yesterday, Attorney at Law Christopher Ram sought an order from the court compelling GECOM, Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, and or the Commissioner of National Registration to stop the house-to-house registration and immediately take all necessary steps to hold general and regional elections on or before September 18th in compliance with the Guyana Constitution. That date is 3 months after the Caribbean Court of Justice validated the no-confidence motion passed against the government. Ram's attorney Anil Nandalal said that while the Chief Justice did not grant the injunction when the matter was heard this morning, the case is not over.
The Chief Justice said, I repeat, that her interpretation of the CCJ judgments is that elections must be held by September the 18th, 2019. However, at this stage of the proceedings, she did not find it fit to stop the exercise on the ground that she is not yet satisfied that the exercise commenced will prevent elections from being held on that date. As a result, she ordered a further affidavit to be filed by us to provide such evidence.
I do apologize for the quality of that video there. The Chief Justice, however, granted Attorney General Basil Williams, Lowenfield and GECOM until July 29th to file any affidavits and Ram's side until July 31st to reply to those. All legal submissions must be made by August 2nd when a ruling is expected. Former executive in Haiti's Ministry of Economy and Finance, Fitzwilliam Michel, has been named the country's new Prime Minister. President Jovenel Moïse announced the appointment of the virtually unknown technocrat last night in a Twitter post following the resignation of Jean-Michel Lapin, who said he was stepping down in the interest of the country. He is expected to formalize the position in an official decree later. Media reports had earlier indicated that Moïse had approached 3 people to replace Lapin, who came to office less than a month after thousands of people took to the streets across the country demanding better living conditions and the departure of the president. Moïse faces an uphill task in getting his new nominee accepted by legislators. And staying in Haiti, police say they have captured the country's most wanted criminal, Arnel Joseph, who had challenged law enforcement authorities to arrest him despite having a 2 million Gorde reward on his head. The gang leader was captured at a hospital late yesterday by units of the South National Police. Joseph had undergone surgery for a leg injury sustained during a clash with members of another gang back in June. Now, more than a year later, he had managed to escape several attempts by police to arrest him, and each time in retaliation, he attacked police stations. The authorities said his arrest ends more than a year of criminal activity by the country's most dangerous gang leader. And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next. Injury-plagued all-rounder Andre Russell has been included in the West Indies squad to face India in the opening two T20s a month after limping out of the ICC World Cup in England. The 31-year-old will join experienced off-spinner Sunil Narine, who has been recalled to the side following a near 2-year hiatus. Guyanese wicket-keeper batsman Anthony Bramble is the only uncapped player in the 14-man squad. All-rounder Carlos Brathwaite returns as captain following Jason Holder's temporary lien on the side for the England series earlier this year in preparation for the World Cup. But there is no Chris Gayle, as the veteran left-hander will be plying his trade in the Global T20 Canada tournament, which bowls off on Thursday. Interim chairman of selectors Robert Haynes said the squad has been selected with next year's T20 World Cup in Australia in mind. Narine has not turned out for the West Indies since the one-off T20 international against England nearly 2 years ago. He has been dogged by injury and intense scrutiny over his action, but remains one of the finest bowlers in the shortest format. Meanwhile, 28-year-old Bramble has been identified as the second-choice wicketkeeper in the squad behind Nicholas Pooran. He led Guyana Jaguars scoring in the last first-class season with 580 runs at an average of 52, but struggled in the Super 50 Cup with 110 runs. The first T20 is set for Fort Lauderdale on August 3rd, with the second the following day. And over to horse racing, Jamaican jockey Shavion Chow unveiled a clinical ride to win the 30,000 Canadian dollar Manitoba Mile stake aboard 4-1 Choice Deep Explorer as part of a double of the 7-race card last weekend. Now going a mile in the contest for 3-year-olds and upward in race 6 on Saturday, the 32-year-old Chow took the 8-year-old Chestnut gelding to the wire by 1.5 lengths in a time of 1 minute 39.40 seconds. Chow stalked from just off the rails before moving up the challenge. Coming off the final turn, they duelled briefly with Alpine Luck before getting clear to control the run-in. Chow had earlier won race 5 with 3-1 chance. The code is grey, making the all running with the 3-year-old Rowan Gelding to beat the 3-year-olds upward by 3 3/4 lengths in a 5-furlong sprint. He is now 4th on 23 wins in the standings. And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Until then, good afternoon.